Today I'm going to discuss a feature called inline attachment, and we are going to talk about what are the use cases of inline attachment and what are all the different ways in which you can use it. Literature analysis, as we all know, can be mind-boggling, and today's session discussion is about this particular aspect of literature analysis, which is essentially the way your key insights needs to be organized, and that has to be super easy. And if that is not so, the entire experience of literature analysis becomes really messy. So if I have to break down what I mean by easy organization of key insights, it would mean three different aspects. The first one is that we need quick access to the related references in the right context. And I would be explaining that a bit. The second dimension is that we have to remember the context of the references. So it's not just about being able to access those related references in the right context, but also we need to able to remember, what was the context, what triggered us to bring that reference. And then the third dimension is we have to have a mechanism of doing on the fly movement of references if we think that this has to go to our reading list, and we need to do a more in-depth analysis and critical assessment of that particular reference if that is a paper. So to sum it up in a nutshell, what it would mean is that we are trying to link our present in the context of literature analysis to the future, which is all the stuffs that we are bringing into our present for future reference. So what we have done in Rax is that we have actually come up with this solution, which is the feature of inline attachment, where you can actually solve this issue of what exactly prompted you to bookmark a particular reference. So the idea is that to bring or to attach the reference to your current point of attention. So whatever you're currently focusing on and currently reading on, currently thinking about, currently assessing or trying to critically analyze, and then you might want to explore further on that particular aspect, and that can be wiki articles which you're trying to explore, that can be top-notch research magazine articles, that can be research blogs or white papers or technical papers, or that can be video lectures or top-class conferences or workshops, or that can be even online tutorials on specific topics. So, and that can also be research papers. So let me just take you to a particular example of how it would be inside Rax. The website is Raxter.io, and once you log in or sign up, you would be in your universe of all the different research projects that you're working with. I would go into one of the research projects that I'm currently working, and that's research paper summarizer. So let's look into one of the papers that I'm currently reading about summarization, document summarization, using certain kind of neural network techniques. I want to know more papers related to this particular section. So I can just select on the section, select and explore, and then I can attach this paper to this section. So once this particular paper gets attached, now later on when I come back, I can just click on this section and my attachment is all the attachments that I might want to do over there is out there. So similarly, I've already made some attachments over here. So the idea is that your references are all attached to the context in which you actually found them, and that can actually be kind of like present with your now. So even later on when you come back to this paper, it's super easy for you to access this reference on the basis of that particular aspect of the paper that triggered you to even discover these references. One important thing that I really need to tell you that the difference between attaching papers as inline attachments versus attaching papers as adding it to your literature list, and when to do what. So basically, if you go over here Let's say that this is one particular section and you want to again pull up all the papers which are related to this particular section that I have selected. And there are two different things that you can do. Either you can attach papers that are related to this section, or you can add the papers to your literature list. Now, if you're not so sure that you would be doing a critical assessment or analyzing this particular paper, or if you just want to put it up to look into it later and then to think about it whether you really want to read it or not, so then you can actually do an attachment. But if you think that this is a paper that you really want to read in details, then you should be doing add to literature. But in any case, if you think that this is a paper that is something which you want to read in details, but at the same time you also want to attach it to this section of your interest, so that you don't lose out on the context of why did you even add it to your literature list, then you should do both. Like you should add it to the literature, and you should also attach it. So essentially kind of like linking up the papers at the same time. So that's kind of the use cases or the differences between when to do what. You can do both depending upon your situation, or you can do any one of them. Inline attachment is not, as you can see, is not just bookmarking, because it is so much attached to to the particular section which triggered that particular discovery to happen. So, and it's not just dumping all your interesting findings into one particular place, or maybe certain folders, or you have to create new folders or something like that. So it's all attached to that particular now. By that, I would like to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching the video.